Okay, good morning. Hello. So I just wanted to do a little update on how everything's going and talk a little bit about self-care, because it's really interesting. In social work we learn a lot about self-care, and we talk a lot about how fundamental that is in a social worker's practice, I think I really let myself slip over these past few months just from all of the stress, and I guess being a mum, I think really, I feel like it really influences the way in which I kind of prioritize, and yeah, I'm just not a part of that prioritization at all. So I think just stress has been building and building and building, to the point of basically me just snapping, really, which has been good and bad. Like, it's not very pleasant to go through, but it's also good afterwards because I feel like I have rebooted myself, which is good. So I had a big chat to Grant, had a few days where I struggled quite a bit with the stress and kind of anxiety and everything building up, and then I basically just let it all out to Grant, and he was really fantastic. He just listened, basically, which is what I needed. I didn't really need feedback at that point. I just needed to, like, uncontrollably let it out and just say whatever I was thinking. And yeah, I think I was feeling a lot of anger because I've just been eating uncontrollably, just eating without even thinking about it, like, you know, not enjoying the food or feeling the food or needing the food. Like, it's just been falling into like a black hole, really, and that's definitely what I do when I'm stressed. But this is, I guess, the stress that I haven't really felt before ever in life, with moving interstate and having kids and, you know, looking for work. So yeah, I just was eating, and I knew I was eating way too much, and like, it wasn't good what I was doing, but I didn't care. Like, I couldn't stop. I just was trying to numb, I guess, everything that I was feeling and everything that I wasn't coping with. I was numbing it with food. So yeah, I was really angry at myself for that, actually, because usually I'm pretty good at getting my feelings out and my emotions out and dealing with them and moving on, but I just think I felt like it was way too much. So yeah, the one thing that Grant did say was he suggested to go and buy a journal, and instead of eating, instead of going to the fridge and eating, to write down how I was feeling at that point in time. So I did. I went and bought myself a journal. I've started journaling again, and I feel really good. So that's great. So I'm really trying to now be conscious and aware of the food choices that I'm making. And like my brother said, if I don't control it, I'm gonna end up old and fat, and they're gonna have to roll me on a bed in hospital to get the bedpan under me. So guess my brother's occupation. Yeah, so brutally honest, but to be fair, very true. So and he also said, if, you know, he said, you do or do not, there is no try, which is a famous Yoda quote. So I'm really trying to change my mentality from I'm trying and I'll think about it and, you know, I'll do my best, to I will, because this is my health and I'm in my 30s now. So if I do not do it, you know, we'll be having this conversation when we're old and grey, which was my brother's words. Very true. We probably would be, and I don't want that, so I need to get some control. I'm not going to add like a lot of pressure and stress to myself about, you know, food. I'm just going to feed my body good stuff, and I'm going to try and exercise, because I know that those two things in themselves really help my mental health, and really help the way that I'm feeling. So I'm not going to get obsessive about it or, you know, really caught up in it. I'm just going to try and move forward positively, and also, you know, journal, write down what I'm feeling. When I go to the fridge to eat, you know, why? What am I feeling? What's going on? And that also makes me accountable for my feelings and makes me aware of what's going on for me at the time. Right, we're going to go see what Hunter needs. What do you need, baby? You want to see Daddy doing the lawn mowing? Okay. Sorry, had to go and assist Hunter in whatever it was that he wanted to do. So the other thing with self-care that I've been thinking a lot about is time to myself. So I really feel like since becoming a mum and having kids, I have not prioritised time to myself, and I guess it's something that just slowly happens over time, but the parent roles are so set in our culture. You know, the man goes to work and the woman stays at home, and basically the woman, like, that's the traditional kind of stereotype. I know that there's lots of different ways of parenting these days, but I feel like that's still quite a strong stereotype in our society. And as a primary caregiver, you kind of, well, I lose myself, I've lost myself. And Harper is now 6 and Hunter is 2, so yeah, I never ask for help, I never, you know, let people know if I'm struggling. I never kind of, like, I guess if you don't openly discuss your roles as parents in a partnership, you know, because people grow individually, right? Like, people are going to grow and change as they age, and then you've got a partner. So as your values and beliefs and, you know, kind of systemic structures of how you live in this world change and evolve, you know, you're kind of always balancing and communicating that with your partner, which can be really tricky. Like, long-term relationships are really hard because you're two individual human beings. You have different belief systems, different ethical belief systems, different cultural backgrounds, different, you know, upbringings. And then you have 2 children. So as you're changing and evolving and growing, and, you know, the way that you view the world and the way that you respect the world and the way that you treat the world and everything in it, you know, environmentally, sociologically, personally, ethically, spiritually, you know, changes. And then you're raising 2 children, and if your voice isn't heard strongly, I guess, if you don't maintain that really strong, firm center of self and, like, your core, and, you know, allow yourself to keep growing and changing, you can become really stuck in these firm kind of prescribed roles of parenting and for me personally, motherhood. So I have always struggled with kind of breaking out of those boundaries and making sure that I'm staying true to myself and who I am, and obviously also that reflects really positively in my parenting. And I notice that when my parenting fails and slips is when my confidence is shaken in myself, not as a mother, not as a wife or a sister or a friend, but as an individual being, you know, when I lose myself a little bit and my core. That definitely affects the way that I parent these little people. So I think that has really contributed to the stress as well that I've been feeling over the last few months. So yeah, basically I'm just trying to refine my core at a very busy time. But I think, you know, sometimes when you're at your busiest and most stressed, that is the best time to try and refine your core, because if you don't have your core, then what do you have while you're doing all of these things that are happening around you? Okay, sleepy time has been done, we've all rested, and I just thought I'd finish off from what I was kind of chatting about before about self-care. I found it quite hard because I've not really ever had Hunter full time, I guess, by myself. He was in childcare 3 days a week, and then, you know, when it was really, really busy last year, I was sort of between uni and placement, I was really out pretty much 5 days a week. So yeah, got him for full time. We've taken him out of childcare because, you know, we're leaving soon. So I just thought better to have him home, and it's nice to spend this time together. But it's actually also really stressful. Like, it is nice, but it's really stressful. So I'm just never alone, which I guess, you know, might sound quite selfish and ungrateful as a parent. And it's definitely not that. It's not that at all. It's not that I feel ungrateful for what I have, because I love what I have, and that should go without saying. But I just crave to be alone sometimes. So I need that time to reflect and just be in my own skin and my own body and my own mind. And it is really full on and intense, and it's something I guess that I'm always adapting to and learning how to cope with and how to, you know, live with, and all of that. Being a parent, it's 24/7. And yeah, I guess I really just crave that independence and being able to just be alone and not have anyone need anything from me, which I just haven't kind of said, you know, I haven't said that I'm struggling and I need that. And I think in those parent roles, actually, that's really quite easy for that to happen. because you deprioritize yourself. And I feel like as a woman, I always put other people first. I nurture everyone else first. I make sure everyone else is okay. You know, if I'm sick, I kind of just keep trotting on and getting on with family life. But for example, you know, when the boys are sick or Grant is sick, I really like, you know, hype up that nurturing kind of side of myself and make sure everyone's all right. And you know, even with Grant, I've tried to back off a little bit because he's a grown man, he's an adult. So, you know, we all need to be capable of looking after ourselves, but also, you know, we all want that love and that comfort and that support. So it's just keeping the balance and not losing the balance, I guess. So yeah, I think I'm just going to try and focus on myself a little bit more and give myself the time to replenish my soul and you know, revive myself and give myself some self-love, some time, some care, and sort of have a daily mantra of it's okay to ask for something. You know, even though I'm a mother and I'm a woman, it's okay to say I need time, which is something that I have really forgotten. So, and I said to Grant, I just feel like I'm giving and giving and I actually have nothing to give. And that's because I'm not, you know, I'm trying to pour water from an empty cup. I can't help others if I can't help myself. So I guess it's all sort of come to a bit of a head, and in the form of a stark reminder of self-care and self-love and self-prioritization, which is good. So we're sort of gonna I'm going to work on that. And I think that will really help me get through the next few weeks. Grant actually put in his resignation on Tuesday. Today is Good Friday. So he put in his resignation on the 27th of April last week, which was Tuesday. So he's only got 8 working days left because there's a short week because of public holidays. And then he has a day off because he has to go do an orthotics appointment. So yeah, I think it's a really busy time to try and sort of shift the dynamics a little bit and change the way that we are operating, but it just wasn't working for me. And you know what, no matter how functional something looks on the outside, like we're getting things packed, things are happening, things are moving, on the inside it can be quite a different story. And I think that's what was happening with me. It was, you know, all the practicalities and surface things were happening in terms of parenting, daily routines, getting stuff done, organising the move, packing boxes. It was all happening, but inside I wasn't coping. So yeah, we've now had a chat about that and it's been really good. And again, it comes back to that ever-growing self, you know, and reconnecting with your inner self and your thoughts and your feelings and reconnecting. And I think food definitely was a huge means of disconnect for me. I was using that to just numb everything that I'm feeling and basically blurbing about now. But I just find that really interesting, you know, like I think in a little way I am addicted to food in times that are really, really stressful. And I do use it a little bit like a substance, you know. And once I kind of became aware of that and then tried to fix it, everything came up and bubbling over. So yeah, anyway, it's good. It's all good stuff. And I'm going to try and take myself for a walk every day because exercise is a huge thing for me. It makes me feel much, much better. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. So sorry for my ranting and raving. But that's just a little update about where we're at. And yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned actually in another video, but we've booked our tickets for the ferry. So we're leaving on the 16th of April, which is awesome. And we've actually had a few people message us from around the Cygnet Gardeners Bay area and reached out and said if we need help or you know, if you want to catch up with other families in the area, or if you know you need anything when we get down there, just to let them know. So it's incredible. Like I feel like we're already being supported and we're not even there yet. So it's nice. It's different actually, but it's really nice. So yeah. Anyway, just a little update, and